Hi guys, the day has finally arrived. Football in England is back and stocks are up to celebrate. Let's have a quick look over. We've got the Nasdaq here. It's relatively quiet today. It's quite range bound in all truth. We're just near the top end of that range. Relatively choppy, I would say as well. You can see an opportunity people may have been looking at would have been, the classic. I guess if you're waiting for a bit of confirmation on there, you would have been okay. And that started to drift a bit higher. Let's have a quick look at the 60-minute to see where we are. You can see it's tricky, isn't it? The interesting thing I would say is you've got a bit of a trend appearing from the lows. Something just to bear in mind potentially later on. Above the high, you can see there's probably a bit of room for it to go towards what really was the tipping point. The failure to push on back on the 11th, which of course was the morning after the Fed. So yeah, we're done full circle in a week, and if we have a look where we are now, we're exactly where we were 7 days ago on the 10th. Incredibly, what a journey it's been on. The S&P similar looking, of course, in that it's had that little push this morning from coming back to that overnight high, but it is choppy, it has to be said. Similar in looking to get those trend lines on the lows, guys, I would say is worthwhile. And then to the upside, just be aware, obviously above today's high, you've got yesterday's high, and then a key level from that sell-off that started last Wednesday. So the S&P hasn't recovered as much as the Nasdaq, but it also didn't go as down as much as well. Let's have a quick look over the pound, which has been staging a bit of a recovery following yesterday's move lower. Great opportunity there on the classic late yesterday around 5 p.m. Since then we've drifted down. Trend line, it's probably worth having that on there as well. If we do make a new low for the day, just be aware the support from a couple of days ago at 1 o'clock. That's where I would have on as well. So potentially looking for the longs up towards the pivot, and then very key level there. For the short, obviously this would be a point where people potentially are looking at it for it to drift down to the low of the day and that 125 handle. The euro, quick look over, similar, isn't it, really? We came down to find some support, big level indeed, and yeah, we're having a little recovery. I could see if people were short now, I'd understand that. Previous low of the day, we've retested that, and you can understand if people were short, they'd be 10 pips in profit, targeting really the low of the day, you'd have to say, or just a tiny bit before that. So if we do get a break, just be aware of a lot of support below there. However, if that area is to go, let me just check my camera's not in the way, the low of the fourth could well come in above the high of the day, or above 112.76. The long towards the pivot and the high is worthwhile thinking about, and then I would say there's a bit of a push towards this area here, which led to the breakdown. Another good opportunity yesterday on the classic around 1 p.m. there for the euro as well. Quick look over at gold to wrap it. It's still range bound, not much going on there. I guess you could argue worthwhile keeping an eye on what happens on these previous lows. 1728.6, a lot of resistance up at those highs. So just be aware of any push higher could well want to take out that high quite quickly, the way gold works. To the downside, let me see, why would we have had this low? I guess you've got a bit of support there, haven't you? Okay, if we make a new low, just be really aware of 1710. You can hear the thunder in the background. Is that a good sign or a bad sign for gold maybe? But yeah, good area support that held up price on the 15th, was resistance, turned support on the 9th. As well. Alright guys, I'll catch you later on, and if you're joining for the webinar as well, see you then.